It is a familiar experience for most students. Student has stayed up until the early hours of the morning studying for a big exam. They only got a couple of hours of sleep before getting up and preparing for class. They get into the classroom still attempting to remember what they had studied the previous night. They sit in class yawning and staring at their exam, struggling to connect the concepts they had studied to the material in front of them. A short time later, student receives the results from their exam, realizing they didn't get the grade they wanted. Student. Studying. And the exam. If they spent all that time studying the night before, how could they have gotten a worse grade than they had expected? Student is not alone in this experience. Many students have spent late nights doing homework or studying till the wee hours of the morning before a due date or an important test. The term all-nighter is well known for that particular reason. Students often wait to do assignments until later in the evening and regularly postpone their bedtime later and later into the night. However, staying up late into the night studying or doing homework is not actually beneficial in terms of memory recall or performance. While studying is a beneficial tool and we should do it, waiting until late in the day to cram everything in at night at the expense of your sleep does more harm than good for your memory. Sleep. Sleep plays an important role in memory storage and consolidation. I'm sure we've all heard about the importance of a good night's rest, or have been told by a teacher to make sure we sleep well and eat a good breakfast before testing, while not knowing how that affects our performance. Well, research actually shows that getting a full night's sleep aids in the consolidation and learning of new information. Before we get into the research of memory consolidation during sleep, let's cover some of the basics of sleep. Most sleep schedules should consist of somewhere around 8 hours of sleep per night, during which there are cycles of around 90 minutes. Beginning with a deepened state of SWS, or slow wave sleep, that then lighten up into REM, or rapid eye movement sleep, and back down again before returning to REM and continuing into a lighter wave of sleep. While the cycles of sleep are pretty balanced, the distribution of the types of sleep are not. Much of the first part of sleep is taken up by short-wave sleep with little to no rapid eye movement, and the later part of sleep almost entirely consists of REM sleep, having absolutely no short-wave sleep. These are just some of the basics of sleep needed in order to understand more information provided in this video. The sleep cycle. Going back to our story about the student, because they got so few hours of sleep, they most likely missed out on certain types of cycles, specifically missing out on a lot of REM sleep. So what effect on memory do REM and shortwave sleep cycles have? Shortwave sleep aids in the consolidation of declarative and episodic memory, which are typically hippocampally dependent, meaning that aspects of these kinds of memory rely on the hippocampus, such as memories of time and date. During shortwave sleep, we can see activity in the hippocampus as well as other networks associated with these kinds of memory. But what are declarative and episodic memories? Episodic memories consist of everyday life and personal experiences. For example, what time you woke up or what you had for breakfast. And declarative memory essentially covers memory from the past that can be recalled consciously, such as remembering the time you were learning how to ride a bike. Breakfast again. And learning how to ride a bike. REM sleep aids in the storage and consolidation of procedural and implicit memory, which are hippocampally independent. Procedural memory is long-term memory of the performance of a certain act and is a kind of implicit memory which does not always have to be recalled consciously. This is more like the act of driving a car or a bike, which do not always need to be consciously recalled. Driving a car. Evidence also suggests that memory is exercised during these cycles of sleep, strengthening their storage for later recall. It has been shown that after learning or training, humans, along with other animals, experience brain activity in areas linked with memory consolidation and reactivation during sleep, predominantly within the hippocampus and neocortex, along with regions associated with learning motor skills and spatial navigation. This means that while you're asleep, your brain seems to actively be rerunning or going through your day and what you have learned, as well as memories from days prior. In summary, sleep is integral in the process of strengthening storage and the maintenance of our memory. Without proper sleep, it is likely that our memories are not being thoroughly stored for later recall. Additionally, lack of REM sleep has been shown to inhibit or block improved performance in recently learned tasks or information, meaning that if you are missing out on that beautiful REM sleep that is primarily in the later half of the night, all of your studying potentially goes to waste. Sleep is not only important to help your memory and learning, but a lack of it can be detrimental. Sleep. If recall of specific information during sleep strengthens its storage, then is there any way for us to target specific information to be recalled during sleep? While there is not a lot of strong evidence leaning towards a particularly sturdy yes, there is some evidence that it may be slightly possible. Studies using sound, such as a clock ticking, while you're studying in the background, during learning, and then later playing the same sound during shortwave sleep or REM sleep, have resulted in better recall or performance of the learned material when being tested after sleep. The sound played while studying cues the brain to remember that material during sleep, hence exercising the information for later use. Results of this are dependent on using a specific sound during learning a particular thing and not for others. So, based on this finding, it might be worth a try listening to a specific sound while studying and again during sleep in order to target specific memory, exercise, and consolidation. Do you remember student? Their story isn't anything out of the ordinary. Like before, many students, myself included, have missed out on sleep in order to complete homework or to study. Unknowingly, we're messing with more than just our sleep schedule and affecting our memories as well. So, rather than staying up late to complete your homework for the sake of your grade, memory, and sleep schedule, pace your studying or homework and prioritize your sleep. It is more for you than you might realize.